Hello, folks. This is Joe from My Geek Scene. I'm here with my assistant Sarah, and we're doing our pretty much unhinged third annual Cherry Capital Comic Con review as we're driving on back to home. So, if this sounds like this is out of order, it is probably going to be out of order because we're just doing stuff off of the top of our heads and like with notes that I have some notes as a basic guideline while we still have the memories of the event fresh in our mind. So, yeah, you're getting what you're getting. So enjoy, I guess. All right. Well, we were at the Cherry Capital Comic Con held at the Grand Traverse Resort during Memorial Weekend, and I'm just gonna say right now, I had a great time. Did you have a great time?
I did. It's one of my favorite events of the year.
Same. I don't like missing it. So with that being said, I guess with the review portion, we'll start with like the pros, and I just have like a list of like things that I had jotted down. For the pros of this event, right off the start, I like the fact that like as soon as you got there, you could pick up a very comprehensive guidebook with descriptions on the guest and where all the vendors, the names of all the vendors and their locations throughout the big throughout the big convention floor room. And you had a choice of like two program books to pick up. There was the regular program book with the artwork from Jay Fosgitt, which would feature a Ninja Turtle and Nightwing and stuff like that. Or you could have like what I would call like the autograph / commission variant cover for the program book. You still got like Jay's artwork and stuff like on the inside, but then outside it was like a thicker stock paper that you could go get autographs, or you can use it for art commissions from the various artists there. So I thought that was pretty cool. The Cherry Capital Comic Con had over in combination over 100. Geez, I cannot speak, but I'm leaving this in. Over 100 artists / vendors on the con floor. And the cool thing about like the con floor and the Cherry Capital Comic Con, since it was held at the Grand Traverse Resort, everything was held in one central location. You really didn't have to go upstairs to go find something else. Everything was just pretty much in one spot. You just had to walk down like a hallway and you can get to anything within 5 minutes, depending on your stride.
I didn't pick up the brochure once. I'm sure someone is going to just give me like side eye or something for that, but I used the website. I just picked up my phone, used the website. It was completely interactive, easy to use.
Oh.
I was able to see all of the events. Everything that I wanted to know was right there. There was like an FAQ, easy to manage, fast to load. It was perfect. So it's something that I didn't have to carry the book with me, and I thought it was great.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. I mean, I very rarely use like the website when I'm at events because like I just have the program book to usually work off of, and a lot of the times that just suffices and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool that you were able to use the website, because legit didn't really think about that because I live in the moment and I don't really stick to my phone for the entire event. But that's just me.
You know, I didn't want to carry a lot of extra stuff.
I don't blame you.
You know, and I'm just like, I guess I'm more hip to the times than you. Sorry, dear.
I guess I'm a Luddite in the fact that I just use analog stuff like paper. You know.
Save a tree.
Yeah. Can you get an art commission on your phone?
No, but
Exactly.
But they'll put one on paper for me.
I'm sure. All right, let's see. One of the cool things about the Cherry Capital Comic Con is like the activities that they have going on. They have after-hour events like the drink and draw, the prom silent auction, and on Sunday they had from 1 to 3 a student artist alley. We're going to get back to the drink and draw a little bit later, but it was pretty cool that they were giving like young teens like a chance and a space for people to come through and look at like their artwork and to have an opportunity to sell people their artwork. I actually bought like a painting of a it was like a blue and black planet in space, and I didn't even catch the name of the artist, but they seemed very nice. They were quite shy, but the painting spoke to me, so I bought it. And for $10, that was an easy purchase. And it was cool that I had the opportunity to support someone's artistic endeavors, and hopefully that'll encourage them to keep creating art for down the road.
Yeah, it was definitely a very cool piece. I did like that.
Yes. Right. One of the places that I did go visit, but not much, but I did do a walkthrough, was the Tabletop Game Room, which had demos to play, and they had like a video game room with a Super Smash Bros. Tournament and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But the game room area would be more of Sarah's point of view on expertise. Did you want to talk about that?
I did like the game room. I like that every year they have the charity auctions there. And I did bid on a couple of different things in the silent auction that they hold on Friday there, and I won a couple of different things there. And
was it for Gaming for a Cure?
Yes, Gaming for a Cure.
And all the proceeds from the silent auction went to that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
And then they have a couple different vendors that were set up there, and they have different games that, like board games that you can check out and play, as well as demos that you can do. I kept trying to go back for this one demo, but I always managed to seem to like get there in the middle of when they were already running a demo, and so then I was like, oh, I'll just come back, but it just never worked out, and that was my fault for just not sticking around, because he had told me before that his demos only take like 45 minutes to an hour for this particular game, so I could have waited around, but I didn't, and that's my fault.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, there was this one vendor in the game room that had done these dice towers, and they did these hand cast acrylic dice, and I had actually picked up one of those from there. It was like this D4 that I had gotten that was really nice. It was like an unfinished D4 that I had gotten that just looked really cool, and I just liked the look of it to get. So I have that, and it came with a pretty cool shiny dice bag. I mean, I like shiny dice bags. I wish I could remember the name of that vendor, but I don't, and I feel terrible.
Well, speaking of the game room and like the demos and stuff, when I walked through there on Sunday, I saw. Did you see that one table with that huge digital display?
Oh yes.
It was like it was almost a 2 to 3 foot digital display.
Yeah, they were doing like a D&D campaign type thing. They were running like a dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, it was just interesting. Like the display was just sitting on the table. I should have took a photo of that, but
yeah, that's cool, because then you can have your dungeon change all the time. That's pretty awesome.
Is that like the next step up as far as like D&D stuff goes? Because that's your area of like expertise.
Yeah, because then you can have your figures go through this dungeon, and then you can change each room as long as you have it preloaded into your maps.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure it's probably just like a TV screen laying flat or something like that.
Okay. Well,
in a safe, like box type thing.
Wow.
But well, yeah, it does look really, really cool, and I'm sure it makes their game so much more unique than having to carry a bunch of different maps or draw something out or have that. Although it does lack some of the 3D terrain that you can sometimes get. So, there's pros and cons to it.
Okay. Well, speaking of pros and cons, let's get back to the review on the Cherry Capital Comic-Con. Well, actually, let's, because you did talk at length about the game room. Let's talk about, now we're entering the Cherry Capital Comic-Con. And you were talking about how, you enjoy, before we started recording this, you were talking about how you enjoyed, all the stuff that they have, available, as soon as you enter, all the attractions. Did you want to
Oh
talk about
yeah,
that a little
because
bit?
like when you first walk in, you've got the different things from like you've got your radio hosts doing things and your TV shows, and then you've got your charity thing, and you got the 501st Legion, and then you got the 2 photo booths where people can go and take pictures, and then at the very end there was the place with that did like the haunts that
Screams in the Dark.
yeah, Screams in the Dark. And I actually bought a 3D printed monster head that had a magnet on it so I could put it on my fridge. So that was I think one of my first purchases of the weekend was from there.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's cool that they had like a lot of attractions, like just even before you officially enter onto the con floor.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you could easily get distracted with all that stuff going on there prior to even going into and experiencing like what all the vendors and artists had to offer.
Mm-hmm. And everything's so interactive, and you have these people coming out, and they're dressed up in full gear, like for like Ghostbusters and the 501st Legion, and they're there, and everybody just loves it, and they're always taking pictures, and it's so interactive, and the people are just so nice.
Yes, they are. They are so nice.
I love it. That's the thing about going to a con, is just having fun and interacting with people and just having that sense of family.
I would agree with that, depending on the event that I'm at. So now I would like to actually talk about like the con floor, like once you entered onto the con floor and all the various things that you could experience there and stuff. Like I had mentioned earlier into this unhinged, out of order, out of focus review that there was over 100 artists and vendors combined on the con floor. Not like 100 artists and 100 vendors. It's just in combination of them. You had a lot to choose from.
Oh yeah, and it was a good variety. So it wasn't like it was all one type of thing. There was a big variety of different things that you could choose from and see. And the aisles were nice and wide. I liked that.
I would agree. Yes, that was definitely one of the pros that I had listed. Was there was a fair amount of space in the aisles and like even was like super busy. Didn't really experience much, much in the way of overcrowded, tight spaces, except for like at the corner, in the very left corner. I guess you would say the northwest corner of the room. Like,
yeah,
it got a little cramped around there, but other than that, there was plenty of aisle space.
Yeah, as somebody who has issues with like people getting in our personal space and like not wanting to be touched, I definitely appreciate having those wide aisles and being able to kind of like sidestep people when I need to and not get bumped around so much. That's really nice to have.
Yes, they continually do a good job on spacing the aisles. I mean, that's like one of those things that you don't really think about it until until it hits you. Like, aisle spacing is actually quite important, like at events with like a bunch of people coming to it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I've been to some where it's just so crowded and so tight and you can't move, and then you just get so anxious and all you want to do is leave.
I call those things like a meat factory, or a slaughterhouse. Like, it's just so compacted,
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, there's like plenty of things to buy when you're in there, like posters, toys, comics. I saw quite a few Gundams in there. Art, shirts, apparel, crafts.
Yeah, there was like this one craft booth that had like knit crafts that was really, really popular. And then there was like those, I don't know, like it was almost like those old like gumball machines, but for like different things.
The capsules.
The capsules, like the token things.
Yes.
Like people were always at those, I saw.
I remember there was one vendor that's made like little mini like rugs with like I remember they had the Monkey D. Luffy's original design for for One Piece that was on a
Oh, I
carpet.
saw that. That looked really cool. I
No,
like
like
that.
his terrible drawing.
Yeah, the terrible drawing. I saw it. Yeah. The
I saw that. I know that I believe it's made out of perler beads, but it looks like video game sprite work. Those art pieces that people have created, and like those are amazing. Like the creativity that people come up with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are really nice. Cuz it does give you that 8-bit feel.
Yeah, 8 and 16-bit feel.
Mhm.
I mean, I've always been a sucker for like video game sprites to begin with, but that has nothing to do with this convention review. But I just do like a video game sprite work. It's just awesome. Sue me, I don't care. No, don't sue me. I don't have money.
Yeah, I did pick up a couple of prints at what was the name of that place?
Oh, Geek Space.
Yeah, Geek Space. And I just thought that the artwork was so cool, and I later found out you told me that he did it by buying figurines and taking pictures of them and then doing these huge collages. And it was very, very cool the way they did it. I bought like 3 of them, and I got like 3 different magnets too, just because his stuff was so cool, and I just loved it. It's just I like it. It was amazing. I got oh gosh, like there was one that had like some Disney villains on it and a couple different things on there. So I got like a God of War one.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. And then I got you one.
Yeah, she purchased a print of The Crow, Eric Draven from The Crow from James O'Barr. Not the new movie that's coming out, but like the mid '90s Crow. So I saw that was pretty cool. In a not so good segue, well, you can't talk about Comic-Cons without talking about comic artists. So let's talk about like the comic artists that we. It's so bad. It is so bad, but I don't care. Let's talk about like the comic artists, some of the comic artists. We're not going to name all of them. There's so many that we encountered, and this is excluding like the guest comic artist.
Well, I don't know who's a guest and who's not. I didn't really pay attention to that part.
Great job there. Well, it's a good thing I have a list of like the out-of-state, non-Michigan guest that they brought in as well.
Oh,
and
okay.
includes the artist. So, but let's talk about like the artists that we did encounter at the place. Corinne Roberts.
Yes.
Which we'll get to later. We'll get to her later because
Okay.
like
Caitlin Smith.
she did something cool. Caitlin Smith.
Uh-huh.
Will Jones, Krista Schumann.
Love them.
Yes, Seth the Moose, cool guy.
J.J. Cott.
Oh, J.J. Cott, love that dude. Jay Fosgett, another cool
Mhm.
one. Austin, whose last name we don't remember. Sorry, dude. Even though I'm like friends with you and I talked with you for a long time at the convention, like I
talked to him multiple times.
I did talk to him multiple times, but I just know him as Austin. It's not like I have to have like people's names memorized, but for the sake of this, it would have been very important to memorize his name. But
He
folks,
does these wonderful paper figures.
that's literally what I was just about to say. Thank you for beating me to the punch, per usual. But no, yeah, Austin creates like these awesome. I said awesome paper constructs of various pop culture characters. He had a lot of characters from the old Marvel comics, especially like through the '90s, and like his work, like if you look at it, it's very creative, and it's
so intricate.
yes. And also, if you purchased one, it definitely treat it like a Fabergé egg because those things, they're made out of paper. So you accidentally crush it, you're just gonna have to buy another one. But the great thing about those things, though, is like it's not like it's gonna be weighing down your backpack once you purchase one. Let me see. Christy McCulfer with the extra comic book.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a pleasure to see her at events.
I should buy her coffee mug. I didn't even think of it, but it's a really cool coffee mug.
She's like one of the sweetest people there.
She is so nice. I love Christy. I love talking to her every time.
Yes. I'm always happy to see Dave Brown at the numerous events, and I'm glad that he popped up again at the Cherry Capital Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
He just, every time I see him at his booth, like, it just seems like more and more people keep coming to his booth and buying stuff, and it's awesome. You know,
Um, oh, you know that one print that I got of uh, the Labyrinth print?
oh, from Tom Savage.
Yeah, Tom Savage. Said hi to him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I would like to give a special shout out to Travis Bramble. As he's an excellent artist from Michigan, but he made me a commission. I didn't even ask for a commission, but like he created one for me of the curator from the Australian death metal band called Portal. The curator is known as the vocalist is known as the curator, and I'm a huge fan of Portal for like anyone who knows me and stuff. And Travis just drew a picture of the curator when he was in what is known as the clockhead phase. So I thought that was excellent. It totally surprised me, and like, man, it was a great surprise. So shout out to Travis Bramble. Like, for any of like the artists that we've mentioned so far, look them up and support them. They all do great work. Other artists and authors that we do like seeing each year, I like seeing Andy Budnick, Stephanie Menard.
Yeah.
Her husband Mike, he's cool too, but I don't think he's an artist per se.
No.
Or
no.
maybe an author, but I haven't really dove into Mike that much as far as like what he does.
He's like a programmer.
No, but I'm talking about like as far as like his contributions to like the convention scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unhinged entertainment.
Especially at the drink and draw, which we definitely need to talk about too.
Oh, yes.
But we're gonna still talk about let's talk about like some of the guests that were there. The one thing about the Cherry Capital Comic Con, they do try to stick to the comic portion of Comic Cons, because a lot of Comic Cons, have switched more into being pop culture events. But Cherry Capital Comic Con has a little bit of pop culture stuff thrown in there, but they generally stick to the comics aspect of that. So they brought some of their guests that they brought out this year, and it's not all of them, but some of the guests. Bill Morrison, Steve Levine, Tom Cook, Gavin Smith, David Watcher, Tim Seeley, and quite a few others, like off of the top of my mind or the notes that I just read off of the book. But yes, and I applaud them for like sticking to their guns and trying to focus on comics for the most part. But they also had a few guests that were part of the pop culture world. One of the big guests this year was Adassa from the Encanto film. I can't say that I've seen it because it's been a while since I've watched any films, like especially in the theaters. But I know that it had a lot of great musical numbers and whatnot. But when I was watching her interact with fans, she always seemed so nice and would just talk with anyone and give them plenty of time and stuff. And one guest that I definitely talked to is Darren McCarty, formerly of the Detroit Red Wings. I can't say that I'm a hockey fan, but I just talked to him because I knew that he was like huge into pro wrestling. So we shot the shit about pro wrestling for a bit, and he was here. His tie into the Comic Con because he has a comic book from Mess Bucket Comics, I believe. And yeah, he was just a really down to earth dude to like talk to. Super cool. I would definitely like to run into him again down the road in the Comic-Con circuit. And definitely pick his brain more about like pro wrestling and stuff. So yeah, totally cool dude.
That's interesting. Never knew that.
What?
Well, any of what you just said, but I think it's cool that he has the comic book.
Yeah. It's I believe like I don't. Is it biography or autobiography?
If he did it himself, it's an autobiography. If somebody else did it, it's a biography.
All right, well, there's a biographical comic that features him. Now that we're done talking about like the comic artists and the guests, let's just talk about some of the cool things that you could actually do, like events at the Cherry Capital Comic Con. You went to an event called the Great Cartoonist Sketch Off. Please tell me about your time there, because I wasn't able to make it out to that because for some reason I was just too busy talking to people and taking photos on the con floor.
Oh yeah, it was a wonderful panel. There was 4 artists. It was Jay Fosgett, Jay Jaycott, Seth Demoose, and Kaylin Smith. And pretty much what it is that they're given a topic and then they're given so much time and they all have to just like draw something based on that topic. And they just go through, and then throughout the event, like people are given these drawings that they get, and you can go to the Facebook page for C4 and you can see what all they drew, and you can see how different each artist's rendition are on these different topics. And I didn't get like the very beginning. I kind of like came into it a couple minutes late, but I saw it last year and I saw it this year, and it's one of my favorite panels to go to every year, just because it's so fun and they're always talking and you can ask questions and like what they like to draw and least favorite things, and so it's very interactive, and it was just a all around fun time for everybody.
Okay. Oh, before we forget, we should probably talk about the Gary Independent Creator of the Year Award that's held annually at C4. It's the award.
It's the award.
Yes, it's the award. No,
It's a very important award.
it's a major award.
Yes.
Hell, you said you won that? But the Gary Reed Independent Creator of the Year Award, basically, it's an award given to those that are in the comic book community that are just trying to, like, they take on the role of mentors and helping other artists and just trying to, like, ensure that the community thrives, and they try to take care of like one another. I think it's awesome. So every year 4 nominees are selected, and then there's a rotating voting panel. Rotating assortment of judges each year. It's never the same ones, from various aspects of like the comic community, and they get to vote on four nominees are picked, and then they're voted on by people that are not us.
Yeah.
And they get to choose. So this year's nominees were Dr. Christy Blanche, Jen King, Michael Watson, and Corinne Roberts. And this was Corinne's 4th year of being nominated, and I guess 4th time's the charm, because this time she won. She was the winner of the Gary Reed Independent Creator of the Year Award, and honestly, I was extremely happy from her, and not even for her, not even from like a personal level, because yeah, she's my friend. Of course, I'm gonna root for her.
Yay, Corinne!
But she's just, she was wholeheartedly deserving of receiving that award this year. So I was glad that I was present for that moment in time, and I put a big smile on my face.
She's an amazing author, an amazing person. She's always there just to help somebody out. So, and definitely go check out her stuff. She had like this wonderful calendar that she did
Watercolor
before.
stuff.
Yeah, like this dragon calendar that I got before. She's done so many different things. She just kickstarted something, a new project.
Successfully kickstarted.
Like before the end date, it was fully funded.
And then some.
And so, yeah, she's just doing amazing things.
So, yes. Congratulations to Corinne. You totally deserve it. And I'm looking forward to seeing, like, who will be nominated and who will win next year.
Absolutely.
One of the 2 things that I had mentioned earlier, but they're one of my favorite things to attend at the Cherry Capital Comic Con, was on Friday night, the drink and draw and the prom/silent auction on Saturday night. One of the things, geez, that's a phrase that I've said numerous times throughout this thing, but one of the things that I do enjoy about it is the huge social aspect in the after-hour events of Cherry Capital Comic Con, or C4 for the rest of this unhinged review. It's just a time where people can just hang out and just I don't drink nor do I draw, but I have so many friends that are in the artist alley and stuff that I just go down there and just hang out with them and
Hmm.
watch them create all this awesome art, and all the art that's created during the drink and draws then donated to go to the silent auction that takes place during the prom the next night. And then all the proceeds from the silent auction gets donated to two fundraisers this year. Charity fundraisers. One is definitely the Heroes Initiative, which helps cover like medical bills for the often uninsured comic book artists that are out there, and I think it's a
Hmm.
very good charity to help out these people that created all these wonderful stories that people have enjoyed throughout the years. And the other charity, which I don't know off the top of my head, but all I know is that it is used to purchase bikes for kids that their families can't afford them and stuff like that. And from what I understand, they've over the years have donated over 1,000 bikes to kids. I think this was
Hmm.
a charity that was created by a teenager themselves, so they're like just out there doing like good work to help other people.
Yeah, and I think it was like a local one from Traverse City
Yes, I mean,
area.
had I been a better, and I'm doing this with quotation marks, a better journalist, I would have actually got the name of like the charity. So I probably might edit in something later, and if I don't, yeah, I guess.
And I was looking around when we were at the drink and draw, and it was just as I feel like it was just as busy as it was last year, but I feel like there were more artists drawing, and it did correlate, and it seemed like there was more art available up for auction
Yes.
this year than it was last year. So I'm kind of wondering, because I did not see the final numbers as to how much was actually raised. So that did you get that total?
I didn't get that last night. Or sorry, I didn't get that. This is being recorded on a Sunday, but I didn't get that number when I was leaving the prom. But speaking of the prom, last year the Cherry Capital Comic Con, or C4, which I should have just already said, but C4 had got rid of the karaoke contest because I think that had just ran its course, and now like they implemented like a prom. And last year was a good start, but this year I think there was even more people that showed up to the prom, and then like in
Mhm.
the later hours there was far more people on the dance floor, just having a good time, and more people dressed up. There was a core of people that dressed up as characters from the continuing Disney show X-Men '97, so it was pretty cool to see them dressed up in prom attire.
Oh, that's good.
And then, of course, like you got to look at like the silent auction stuff. I mean, I got to look at all the artwork that was created during the drink and draw during the silent auction. So
Mhm.
that was like really cool to look at.
I was tired, so I kind of went to bed early. I think I left at like 10 o'clock. Um,
I was there until like midnight. Just even after like looking at the artwork, it was just a great time for me to catch up with people that I only get to see at C4. So, and
mhm.
I value those times because like you never know when's the last time you're going to see somebody. You know where life's going to take you. So like I try to make that last as long as possible. At midnight,
Mhm.
I had to cut out because I knew I had to get up early in the morning to, not early in the morning, but get up and check out of the hotel and allow myself some
Mhm.
sleep.
Yeah, I was a bit burnt out from interacting with people, but it was definitely nice to see everybody and interact. And I do, I do like the prom, and I think that had I not been burnt out, I probably would have stayed longer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean the music was good. I did enjoy that. Um, and I think people were just starting to get out onto the dance floor. And I did see on the website that you could like run for prom king and queen. So like there was like a prom court. So I wonder how that turned out.
Yes, and I believe like the prom queen and king. Uh, I last year they were raising money, and all the proceeds from that. If you wanted to vote, you can vote with your money, and then all the proceeds from that went towards a charity and stuff like that. So, I don't know if that same voting system applied for this year, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just a good time, and I would recommend like if you come out to C4, definitely to check out the after hours like events
Mm-hmm.
because unique, and I would love to see like the prom come back like more, and I would love to see more people participate in that too.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen another convention that has been as charity centric as Cherry Capital. You know, like
I'm in agreement with you.
so many different things going on, so many different ways to raise money for different charities. You know, and so many different people participating, and it definitely doesn't happen. And I think that this one really hits it out of the water.
Yes, because some of those art pieces during the silent auction goes for some serious dough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that kudos to everybody who participates and everybody who like puts up a bid and who wins. I know I put up a couple bids. I did not win, but I also, you know, didn't stay long enough to try and like re-up my bids.
What were you bidding for? What piece?
There were a couple different things that I bid on. I bid on one of Austin's things, and then I bid on one that Corinne had did, and a couple others.
Okay.
So just a couple different drawings that had like caught my eye. And then I really found it was funny. There was this one, and I don't remember who did it, and it was like this guy who had said, it's like, I'm not an artist, I'm just a lowly writer.
Mm-hmm.
And like that one caught my eye. That was really funny. He was like, but I'm trying, or something like that. And he did part 1 and part 2. Those were cute.
Nice. Cherry Capital Comic Con has a very good after hours program, and the fact that it's like also charity focused as well, and it helps out a lot of people. I can't help but recommend it. Yeah. So as we're tying this up, final verdict: would you recommend the Cherry Capital Comic Con?
Well, I absolutely 100% recommend it every single time.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why I've been going so many years.
Oh, wait, we already said at the beginning, like we like this event, so it's like that was kind of like a spoiler. I mean, it's came to like the same conclusion. Boy, that was a hard decision to make, you know. I mean, yeah, I like coming out to Cherry Capital Comic Con in Traverse City on Memorial Day weekend, and I look forward to it each year. So, yeah, I can't really say anything else about it.
Yeah, it's usually really good weather. You get to see people for like the first like nice weather event of the year.
Yes. So before we wrap this up, I would like to give thanks to like Rob, Corey, and Pat, and the rest of the Cherry Capital Comic Con crew for all the hard work that they do to run this event. Like, I think they put on a great show, and I hope to be back next year. I certainly plan on being back next year, so thank you to everyone for all the hard work that they do, and shout outs to like all our friends and con family that we see out each year. So everyone, this is Joe from My Geeksing, along with Sarah, my assistant, reviewing the assistant, at least for the sake of this, for the Cherry Capital Comic Con's review. Take it easy.
Bye.